Hello guys, DK here, and welcome to my guide to the Arcane Mage. So, this is gonna be a very basic Arcane Mage guide. So, nothing in depth, only meant to get you from LFR into Heroic Dungeon. So basically, how to play Arcane good enough to clear the Silver Proving Grounds. That's basically it. And you should go into the Silver Proving Grounds with some LFR gear. Not full LFR gear, you can have normal dungeon gear too. But some LFR gear is pretty much needed. Let's get rid of this guy chatting. There we go. Okay, so first off, let's check our mastery. This is very important, very crucial for the Arcane Mage. So let's read it. Increase all spell damage done by up to X% based on the amount of mana the mage has unspent. So this increases your mana, your damage. Your damage is increased based on your mastery, based on how much mana you have left. So if I have 100% mana, I get the 56% extra damage, and if I have, let's say, 50% mana, I would get 27% extra damage. And this makes it very important that you keep your mana up. And if you're used to any other caster, pretty much you're thinking mana, well, that don't get below like 90% or something. But mages, you have to keep an eye on your mana for playing Arcane properly. So the reason your mana would dip below in 90% is the next thing we're gonna be talking about. It is Arcane Charges. So Arcane Charges, you get this debuff. Stacks up to 4, and it basically increases all damage you do and all your mana costs for pretty much the spells listed here. So it's just a debuff. You can't click it away, but you can get rid of it. So how you gain it is by casting Arcane Blast or Arcane Missile. I will talk about all the spells I name here later. And sometimes when casting Arcane Explosion, again I will explain this later. And you can get rid of them by casting Arcane Barrage and Evocation. This is just Arcane Charge. You should just keep an eye on it and make sure it's up. Also, keep your Arcane Brilliance activated. I have a macro to get all these cool effects. Well, next up is Arcane Blast. So, as said, this grants a Arcane Charge. It also does damage, has a cast time, and it actually increases it has reduced cast time the more Arcane Charges you have. So you see, I start off a cast, it's 2.1 second. Now I have one Arcane Charge. Cast to another one, it's 2 seconds. Then I have 2, and then it's 1.9 and 1.8. And then with 4 charges, it is 1.7. So it's a minor decrease to the cast time. It's just your main filler. It also, at 4 charges, costs about 10% of your mana. This is kind of important because you see, if I am, let's just cast a few of those. Oh, and these weak auras here, you should, if you can see what they do, great. But if not, just don't mind them. So you see, my mana is dipping down very quick. Oh, there, and this weak aura I have for my mana here, it will be in the description. And it changes colors at 50%, at 70%, and at 93%. Keep those numbers in mind for the rotation. That's why I have the color change, because it's easier to spot quickly what I should be doing. But, so, that's Arcane Blast. Arcane Missile, let's just get some procs. There we go, that's 1 proc. You can see it by the indicator here, and you can see it by the buff you have up here. This is not a debuff, this is a buff, so you can't click it that way. See, now I have 2 charges, 2 stacks of the buff, and I have 2 circles here, and if I can just get a third one, that will show up down here in a second. There we go. That's what it looked like with three targets. You should always cast this spell no matter what if you have 3 charges. So this is how what it looks like. It will, as you can see on my cast bar, it has intervals that it shoots missiles of. This launches 5 waves of missiles, 5 instances of damage, and it increases damage with Arcane Charges, but it costs no mana, so it doesn't increase mana cost in any rate. Yeah, that's it. You should just use it basically when you have 4 Arcane Charges, or when you have 3 of the buff. the purple thing on the side here. And next up is Arcane Barrage. So you might remember this is a way to get rid of your arcane charges. Whenever you cast this, it deals damage to a primary target plus 1 target per arcane charge you have, up to, of course, because you have 4 charges, up to 5. So you see I shoot it off here, and it also damages the training dummy, the one for tanking. This is used to get rid of your arcane charges, though you should not use this on cooldown. Please don't go red Pella on me with this. I cast this on Mythic Rule about 6 times. I aim for 4. It's really good if I can keep it to 4, but 6 times maybe, so that you don't use this at all. And you pretty much shouldn't be using it. So, but it is still, it's still useful. Because you don't want to dip too low on mana, and if you have nothing to fluctuate your mana with in the 90-100%, you should cast this to be able to cast 4 Arcane Blast again. But more on that in the rotation part. I'm getting derailed. So next up is Arcane Explosion. So this can grant you a charge of arcane, an arcane charge. Charge of arcane charge, that's weird to say. But it has, as you can see right here, it has a 30% chance to generate a charge if at least 1 target is hit. So this is not a charge on a target hit basis. This is per cast. So you can see I cast here, and we got 1 charge and 2 charges. They're right here. You can also check them out here. 3 charges. I'm getting very lucky with my charges. So, yeah, and as I said, you can get rid of them with Arcane Barrage. But you usually should wait. It's a charge per 3 something cast. But this is just your AoE spell, and it is around you. There's no way of targeting it. And that's pretty much what that does. So, last off, to get rid of your charges, you can also cast Evocation. You can see now it lists 20% and 60% up in the tooltip. And now it lists 10 and 30%. This is because it grants you mana on cast. And then it also grants mana the longer you channel it. And as you can see now, it will grant me a total of 40% mana. That's not good. That's really bad. But as you can see here, Evocation consumes all charges, and Evocation's mana regeneration is increased by 25% per charge, so you will be able to double it. And that's why it was 20% and 60% before. So this is basically just used for, you burst a lot of mana. Let me just use all of my mana. Get it done quicker with presence of mind. So let's burst. A lot of mana gone. Down to 50%. That's usually the mana percentage you'll be using this at. I usually go below. So you can see 2 clicks and I am on about 90% mana. So this is just your mana regeneration spell. So what your rotation is going to be looking like is you use Arcane Blast. Yeah, we all use it. Arcane Blast to get to 4 charges. And then you use up 1 Arcane Missile. And then if you're above 93% mana, you use another Blast. And then you just switch between Blast and Missile until you have no more Missile charges. And then you use Barrage. And you go like that. That's your single target rotation. If you're in a boss fight, you basically go like this, back and forth between Missile and Blast. But you want to not cast Barrage if you have Evocation off cooldown. Down to about 70% mana. When you're at 70, you should ignore all Missile procs and just go down to 50% mana with your blasts. When you're at 50% mana, use Evocation like I showed you, with only the initiate cast and the 1 proc from it. And then you continue on, but with using blast. No, but we're using Barrage to get rid of the charges instead of Evocation. So that's the single target rotation, and for AoE, you just use Arcane Explosion until you get 4 charges, or until you get 3 Arcane Missile buffs. If you get 3 Arcane Missile buffs, you should cast it. You should cast one. See, I have 2 charges and 3 buff instances. I cast one of the missiles and then continue using my explosions until I get a 4th Arcane charge. And RNG is not shining on me. There we go. I had 3 charges. I have 3 missiles. And then you just empty your missiles, use a barrage, and then Arcane Explosion. Rinse and repeat. It's really that easy. So, last thing you should know is... No, not last thing. Second to last thing is Arcane Power. Mine has 3-minute cooldown. That is a glyph. I do not recommend using this in dungeons or in proving grounds. You should use the Cone of Cold. This one, it increases Cone of Cold. That will make the Cone of Cold viable on AoE, because the damage is increased too much. So Cone of Cold, yeah, it's also pretty good for AoE. And you want to AoE when you have 4 or 5 targets in close vicinity of yourself, because, as I said, this is a AoE spell around yourself, not anywhere to be placed, like the other mages have, Blizzard and Flamestrike. You can also get a glyph of Arcane Explosions that increases the radius. This might also be useful instead of glyphs like Ios Block. But, yeah, I don't really know why I have this. It's not really good. But, yeah. So, what was I talking? Cone of Cold. Yeah. And Arcane Power. Use it on bosses. Use it on trash after the boss. Use it whenever, really. Just be sure to have it on bosses. For your initial burst, it gives so much more DPS if you use your Arcane Blast burst down and Evocation with this active. Don't think about what it does, just know that it's an awesome cooldown. And lastly, what was I gonna talk about as the last thing? Yes, Arcane Missiles. You might think, well, if I have 3 missile charges, but I don't have 4 Arcane charges, should I then cast one? I don't have any missile charges now. But basically, you want to prioritize casting the 3rd instance of your Arcane Missile charges, even if you don't have the Arcane charges, but you should otherwise never... See, there we have it. So now I have no charges, and I have 3 missiles ready. I should always cast 1 missile, only 1. Just 1, and then continue until I get 4 charges, and then shoot off the rest of my missiles. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you have any questions, anything you need to know, anything to ask me, really, just ask me in the comments below, and I will answer as quickly as possible. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.